Hey, how's it going, y'all? Hope that you're doing well. It is the start of a new month. So, new month, new teams. So, we've got 5 new teams for y'all to try for this new month. I'm really excited to show you guys them because I definitely, put a quite bit of thought into them, and there's some pretty unique teams. So, this is the first team. We'll get into it in a second. Before we get into it, I do want to just say a couple of shout outs. Shout outs to my friends who I've been collaborating with over the past couple months. Definitely makes playing this game more enjoyable when you have people to play it with and bounce ideas off of. So, definitely shout outs to Random Gaming, the first person who actually ever reached out to me to do any sort of collaborations, and that definitely helped me grow my channel. Shout outs to Gigawatts94 as well, of course, very good sir. Great person for me to bounce ideas off of. And shout outs to Andy VGC as well, because he is another very good sir. Somebody that I like to bounce ideas off of, and also has, I would say, likes to build really unique teams just like I do. So, that's definitely nice. Shout outs to all of you as well. I really appreciate those of you who are, here with me on this journey. It is, it's really nice to just, have people here and, give me feedback and all that sort of things. So, I definitely do appreciate you guys. And shout outs to Mac Miller as well for my super great outro. My outro comes from his song Birthday on his Larry Fisherman album Run On Sentences Volume 1. It's a very good song. If you want to check it out, I'll link it somewhere. But yeah, thank you. If you haven't checked out my Snorlax video either, where we talked about the nature of fate and good and evil, I definitely suggest that. Just a, video where we talked about some ideas that I think are really important to consider. Talonflame is also faster than all prankster users, so you don't have to worry about getting taunted before you set up your Tailwind. For being here, and let's get into these teams. So this first team that I want to show you guys is easily my favorite team that I'm sharing this month. I think this is a really unique and really deadly team. There's definitely some move choices that I had a really hard time deciding on one over another. So, I do appreciate any feedback on that as well. That's why our QOTD is what move/item choices do you suggest. So, as we go over things, I'll talk about some of the ideas that I had and why I decided to do what I did. So right off the bat, we have Psychic Surge, of course, Tapu Lele, with Life Orb to do some pretty fat damage. We've got Psychic, Protect, Dazzling Gleam, and Grass Knot. There is maybe an argument for Moonblast over Dazzling Gleam. The nice thing about Dazzling Gleam, even though you have to be careful about Wide Guard, is just like getting that chip damage on both Pokemon can be really valuable if you're not actually going to be getting that like really strong super effective hit. The downside is that if I did have Moonblast can OHKO things like a Tapu, or a Galar Moltres. So, having Dazzling Gleam is a little bit of a disbenefit in that sense, but it is really nice for chipping away at your opponents. Grass Knot allows you to one-shot some very important things like Groudon. I need to check really quick if Tapu Lele can actually still one-shot Groudon even though we're not running beneficial special attack nature. So the reason why you want to run beneficial speed nature is that you want to be able to be faster than an opposing Kyogre, and we have the ability to set up Tailwind for ourselves, but if they set up Tailwind and they have, where's the buttons, Grass Knot, there you go. If they set up Tailwind and they can just basically be faster than you if you don't go for that speed investment. So you definitely want the speed investment, even though having special attack nature would be nice. Grass Knot is not a guaranteed OHKO at this point, which is a little bit unfortunate about, not being able to run the special attack nature. it's only a 69% chance to OHKO. So I mean it can, but you know, it's not guaranteed. Then we have Zacian with Sacred Sword, Play Rough, Iron Head, and Protect. This is actually a beneficial attack nature Zacian with a little bit of speed taken off of it to reinvest in HP to make it a little bit more bulky. But the idea is that if you set up Tailwind, you're really not that worried about how fast it is. I mean, like, you're not going to outspeed opposing Zacian, but you can still pretty reliably like one-shot them, especially if you're next to Berserker with Steely Spirit. And, you know, Zacian can one-shot things like Calyrex-Shadow without getting one-shot by it. So you have that going for you. I do think that Play Rough is really nice to have over Substitute in certain instances, and not everyone actually expects you to have Play Rough. So Play Rough allows you to do really good damage against things that Sacred Sword and Behemoth Blade just don't really cut it for, especially against something like Palkia. So you have that going for you. I mean, we technically have Regieleki, so we don't really need it. But then, yeah, let's talk about Regieleki, one of the stars of the team. So nobody is really using Regieleki right now, but it's a very good Pokemon, especially in non-Dynamax format. Dragon Energy, Breaking Swipe, Dragon Pulse, and Draco Meteor. You could maybe argue for taking off like Draco Meteor or Dragon Pulse for like Ancient Power, so that you know, have the ability to do damage to fairies. But this is a really good moveset. You do need to look out for Misty Terrain because Regieleki does not do very good damage with the Misty Terrain up. And in that case, you'd probably want to go for like Breaking Swipe just to get the attack lowering right. But Regieleki is definitely really good in this meta, very scary, and well supported by Tailwind. So then we have Melodic with Competitive and Wide Lens. I originally thought about doing, I think, like a Healing Berry and doing Recover over Life Dew, but Life Dew is really good, or no, I thought about doing Coil when I was thinking about the Berry set. But I think that, you know, Wide Lens is really nice, and then when instead of having Coil, you can replace it with Life Dew or Recover. I decided to go with Life Dew because Life Dew has the ability to support not only itself but your teammate. So if Regieleki starts like losing health, you can, you know, use Life Dew, get a little bit of health back, and Dragon Energy does more damage again. Then we have Berserker with Iron Head, Fake Out, Throat Chop, and Taunt. You do have to run beneficial attack nature, but with the nature and like not even needing any more attack investment, Throat Chop will OHKO a Calyrex-Shadow, and Berserker does not get OHKO'd by it, but it does get brought down very reliably low enough in order to set off the Agua Berry. So, you know, that works. I had a really, really hard time deciding if I wanted Protect over Fake Out. I think in some instances being able to preserve Berserker is really important so that you can keep it on the field as long as possible to benefit Zacian. But I also think that having Fake Out can be really important in order to guarantee that you can get up those Tailwind in certain instances. So you can do things like lead Berserker Talonflame, and you can Fake Out Tailwind. You can also do something like Protect Talonflame turn 1 and use Taunt. I think Taunt is really nice to have on Berserker. I mean, it is a slow Pokemon, so like, I mean, you could argue for running Taunt on Talonflame, but I honestly like having Protect on Talonflame. And the one drawback about Berserker is that it is one of the slowest Fake Out users, so you need to be careful about that. Against an opposing Fake Out user, it just doesn't exactly cut it. But that's kind of the argument for why you might want to run Protect over Fake Out. I do think that having Fake Out makes the team a little bit more viable, so that you don't have to feel like you have to lead like Talonflame and Tapu Lele, which is definitely one of the best leads on this team. But in some instances, you can even lead like Berserker, Regieleki, and just like Fake Out Dragon Energy or something like that. Melodic is really good against all of the Intimidate users and wards away Intimidate, so that's really nice. I haven't been using Melodic on this team that much, but it is there. And then of course we have Talonflame with Gale Wings, able to set up the Tailwind, and Focus Sash Talonflame just to make sure that it doesn't just go away right away. So yeah, it's a pretty solid team. I do really like it. Some of your best leads are definitely going to be Talonflame Lele, Berserker Talonflame, Talonflame Regidraco, Berserker Regidraco. Berserker Zacian is really good because with Steely Spirit you get 1.5 damage on your steel moves, meaning that Zacian's Behemoth Blade is pretty much just going to destroy everything in its path. So we've got really nice answers for some of the more annoying things in the meta. You know, we can deal with Calyrex-Shadow with Berserker. We can deal with Xerneas very easily. We can deal with, you know, Palkia. We can deal with Groudon and Kyogre using like Regidraco and Tapu Lele. And I can't think of what the other one is, but yeah, you can deal with Zacian as well. We're not really that worried about Zacian. As long as you have Talonflame to deal with it, and you also have your own Zacian. So that's nice. Let me plug in my laptop really quick. Plug in. Sorry. But yes, I do think that this is probably one of my deadliest teams for this month. The main core is definitely Talonflame, Regidraco, Tapu Lele, and Zacian, where a lot of the time I do find myself leading Tapu Lele Talonflame, but the disbenefit is that Talonflame can actually still be faked out and taunted in Psychic Terrain because it's a flying Pokemon. So, you know, not everyone's going to remember that, and they might not even try to fake out or taunt when you set up Psychic Terrain, but it is still possible. And that's why running Fake Out on Berserker is really nice, so that you can, instead of leading Tapu Lele Talonflame, you can lead Berserker Talonflame and just like Fake Out Tailwind. But of course, if they lead like Whimsicott Rillaboom, or like Whimsicott Incin, then they have a faster Fake Out user than you, which is a little bit of a disbenefit. But all over, really nice team. Regidraco pulls big Okos. And let's move on to the next team. So next team is actually a Kyogre team that I find to be pretty fun. I decided last minute to go with Choice Scarf Kyogre over just regular Kyogre. I think this is really nice just because like not everybody expects the Choice Scarf, especially when you have a team like this. It just doesn't really seem like you would need the Choice Scarf, but it does allow Kyogre to be faster than Ludicolo. If you want to lead Kyogre Ludicolo, you will be faster than Ludicolo, which is nice. Origin Pulse, Scald, Ice Beam, and Water Spout. I do think that it's nice for Kyogre to have a single target water move if it needs it, and Ice Beam honestly just does not always cut it. Like, you expect it to do more damage than it does. Let's just put it that way. Then we have Serena, which is pretty much like a staple on Kyogre teams at this point. I would say the core for most Kyogre teams is Kyogre, Tornadus, and Serena at this point. This Serena actually has Assault Vest, so we had to not use Assault Vest as Scavalier, but the real reasoning is that these moves are really nice to have for Serena. So, you know, Power Whip does fat damage, High Jump Kick is really useful for an opposing Incineroar. You're going to want to, like, try not to get the Intimidate, right? So, like, you want to switch in Serena and then use High Jump Kick. Triple Axle over U-Turn. I just kind of like, there is the disbenefit of your moves being able to miss if you're not using Wide Lens. So that's definitely something to think about. But Payback can one-shot a Calyrex-Shadow, and not everybody expects it. So, you know, it's, you know, little things like that to remember. Do you actually need Payback, though, if you have Choice Scarf Kyogre is kind of the question. You could actually probably just run Ludicolo Kyogre and not need the payback. However, it's kind of one of those surprise factors that works very well in your benefit, where if you're facing a Calyrex, you can just lead like Escavalier, Serena, protect Escavalier, and use payback and one-shot them. So, I mean, you have that going for you. Escavalier is one of the best answers, I would say, to Calyrex-Ice. Calyrex-Ice has a really hard time dealing with Escavalier. Escavalier does fat damage with Mega Horn and Iron Head, and we also have Expert Belt now that we're not running Assault Vest to just do that little bit more damage. The Expert Belt also allows you to one-shot a Zacian with Drill Run if you do pick up that critical hit, but it's not exactly something great to have to rely on, like I need a critical hit to OHKO Zacian. Like, I guess you can try to chip away at it, and then Drill Run does reliably do about 2/3 of Zacian's health without the crit. So, you know, you have that, and you do have ways to chip away at Zacian. Then we have Ludicolo, which, oh, why does it have Rain Dish? Okay, I'm going to have to re-release this team, so disregard the Pokepaste on the bottom, the team code. I'm going to have to redo that and make it a Swift Swim Ludicolo. So we will have a new team code for this team. Don't use the one that's on the bottom of the screen, please. Yes, there will be a new team code for this team. This Ludicolo has Fake Out. Grass Knot was really hard to decide on over Energy Ball. The thing is, like, Grass Knot does really good damage at times where you really need it, but Energy Ball does more consistent damage. So there's kind of give and take in that. Scald can one-shot a stack Attacka in the rain, so you have that on Ludicolo. And then we also have the egg move for Ludicolo Counter. I find Counter to be really nice to have on Ludicolo because, you know, Zacian just really can't do very good damage against Ludicolo, but it can do like a significant enough amount that Ludicolo should be able to one-shot Zacian after it gets attacked by Behemoth Blade or Sacred Sword. So you have that going for you. I think Counter is really nice to have on Ludicolo, and a lot of people are going to want to use Grassy Glide on Ludicolo with their Rillaboom, even though they'll be scared of Serena, but like if someone uses Grassy Glide on Ludicolo with Rillaboom, they will get one shot back with Counter. So you have that going for you. Then we have Pikachu, who I'm pretty much running like just to not use Regieleki to some degree, because like I am using Regieleki and Rillaboom on too many teams already, but Regieleki and Rillaboom are really good, and you do have Lightning Rod on Pikachu, which is really nice. Light Ball, Pikachu does fat damage. It has Fake Out, Volt Switch, Nuzzle, and Thunder. With the Tailwind up, you know, you are going to be really fast, and being able to nuzzle people is really nice. Thunder does not actually do that much more damage than Thunderbolt, so there might be argument for taking off Thunder for Thunderbolt, because you're not always going to be in the rain, right? Like, the rain's just not always there. So Thunder's not the most reliable, but it is really nice to have. And you have Volt Switch if you really do need to do reliable damage. Fake Out might not also be the best on Pikachu because it is so frail that you kind of want to utilize your turns as much as you can. But that being said, like, Fake Out is really nice to have on Pikachu in the case that you want to do something really random, like lead like Pikachu Kyogre and like just click Fake Out Water Spout. Like, you can do that, I guess. Then we have Tornadus, which is actually a slow, bulky Tornadus, which, again, there's kind of give and take for that. We have Mental Herbs. You're not really worried about other pranksters being faster than you, but if they try to taunt you turn one instead of utilizing their own Tailwind, then it's just going to kind of put them in a bad position where you can taunt them right back the next turn and not allow them to use Tailwind because you'll be faster. Hurricane does have the ability to one-shot a Rillaboom, which is really nice. So you got that going for you. So common leads on this team are definitely like Kyogre Tornadus, Kyogre Ludicolo. I guess you can lead Serena Escavalier, but that was just kind of a random example. Serena Tornadus is really good. You can lead Pikachu if you need to, but Pikachu is kind of, it's definitely better as a back Pokemon to bring out and be like, oh look, I have this, and it actually kind of does fat damage. But, you know, Nuzzle is actually really important for Pikachu to have in order to do things like cut Zacian or Calyrex-Shadow's speed in half, or like Xerneas, I guess. So really fun team overall. One of my other favorite teams for this month. Next team is a Calyrex-Shadow Team with some super interesting Pokemon. So we have White Smoke Centiskorch, so its attack can't be lowered, with Coil. So Centiskorch does... So I had my damage calculator kind of messed up when I was doing the Centiskorch calcs, but Centiskorch actually does one-shot Zacian with Flare Blitz without any Coil boosts, so that's nice. Does have lower defense stat than special defense, making it a really good Coil user. The problem is that Centiskorch is actually not like that amazing all the time. There's definitely times where you find like Centiskorch just doesn't really cut it, and like it kind of takes more damage than you would like. But Centiskorch does have the ability to run away with some games if people aren't ready for it. Coil Flare Blitz doing really big damage, and you also have Leech Life to bring your health back and keep it around even longer. Then we have Rillaboom, pretty standard Rillaboom at this point. Grassy Glide, Wood Hammer, Knockout, and Fake Out. Knockoff, sorry. Just a really good Rillaboom set. You know, Knockoff can one-shot a Calyrex-Shadow if they're not like running, like the one person running Focus Sash Calyrex-Shadow. So you know, you got that going for you. Then we have Focus Sash Regieleki with Thunderbolt, Electroweb, Volt Switch, and Protect. Pretty standard, except like, you know, half the people are running Magnet, half the people are running Focus Sash. I would actually say it's probably like 80-20 leaning towards Focus Sash at this point, because people recognize that having Focus Sash is really nice. Then we have Registeel with Protect, Amnesia, Iron Defense, and Body Press. It's just really not worth running Heavy Slam. Honestly, like, Registeel is not as heavy as you would expect, which I honestly don't understand at all. But this is a really good Registeel set. Registeel has the ability to run away with games and, you know, just do ridiculous damage with Body Press while having the ability to raise its defense and special defense by 2 stages by using either Amnesia or Iron Defense. So the boy stays around for a long time. And we're actually running Pollen Puff on Calyrex-Shadow in order to support Registeel if need be. Pollen Puff also has the additional advantage of being able to do very decent damage against an Indeedee. So if somebody does lead like Indeedee plus something, you do have that going for you. However, I guess we don't have Wide Guard on this team, so you do need to like really look out for opposing Calyrex-Shadows, I suppose. But like if you're facing an opposing Calyrex-Shadow, your best bet's probably going to be to lead Regieleki Calyrex and use Electroweb Astral Barrage. So I mean, you have that going for you. Calyrex is just really strong, you know. Astral Barrage, Pollen Puff, Protect, and Shadow Ball in case you need to do those single target ghost moves. And then we have Tapu Fini, which is a lot bulkier than most people expect it to be. There's just a way to run Tapu Fini where it has literally like 300 defense, special defense at level 100. So, you know, the thing is very tanky. and it also gets Calm Mind, being able to raise its special defense and special attack, and doing very decent damage with Muddy Water and Moonblast, while being able to set up the Misty Surge in order to stop people from like putting you to sleep or burning you or any of that good stuff. So this team is all over very solid and can just like really threaten your opponent more than anything else. Yeah, this team is very threatening for people when they see it, put it that way. So common leads are definitely going to be like Calyrex Rillaboom, Calyrex Regieleki, like, I don't really know, like, I think this is one of those teams where the leads are going to be so situational that it's kind of hard to say, like, what your best options are. But, you know, we have answers for Calyrex-Shadow. Against a Zacian, you know, Scorch is definitely going to be one of your best bets. You do probably want to get off the coil in order to guarantee a one-shot on Zacian. But let's just look up the Scorch facts really quick. So, with Adamant and Flare Blitz, can we one-shot a Zacian? Survey says... What? What? Are you kidding me? It only does 50 to 60%. This is Zacian's problem. Like, Zacian should not be just surviving everything this much. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Like, you're telling me that a Pokemon with 360, a Pokemon with like 360 attack at level 100 and fire moves only does 50% to Zacian? Like, that's not okay. There's nothing okay about that. So, like, yeah, Zacian busted, and that's kind of why people have problems with it. Like, it's way too tanky for how absolutely powerful and strong it is. So, I mean, yes, like, you have answers for it, and one of the benefits as well, no, like, Behemoth Blade literally does 50 to 60%. So, Behemoth Blade does more to Scorch than Flare Blitz does to Zacian, which is BS. So getting off the coil is definitely important. But it's like, come on, Zacian, like, just give other people a chance, okay? But all over, I do think this team is really nice. And, you know, you have your answers for things that are going to be really threatening. I mean, against, like, a Xerneas, you're probably just going to want to lead, like, Regieleki Calyrex again, and just go for, like, Electroweb Astral Barrage in order to get around any sort of, like, follow me shenanigans or anything like that. So let's move on to the next team. So our next two teams that I have are two coaching teams. So the next two teams are definitely, like, I wouldn't call them not serious, because these teams can actually be really good, but, like, they take careful piloting, and I wouldn't expect them to just, like, completely dominate as much as the other teams might if you learn how to pilot them. So on this coaching team, we have Goodra with Sapsipper and Citrus Berry, with Assurance, Breaking Swipe, Protect, and Power Whip. This is really more of like a supportive Goodra in some sense with Breaking Swipe. I mean, Breaking Swipe is the best dragon move that's physical that Goodra gets. So, I mean, yeah, you have that. And Breaking Swipe lowers the opponent's attack, which is nice. You do want to go with Power Whip over Aqua Tail on this Goodra, even though, like, Aqua Tail might be nice to have for Landorus. But, you know, because you're running a Groudon team, you do want Power Whip instead of Aqua Tail. Then it also has Assurance, which Assurance allows you to one-shot a Calyrex-Shadow if you need to. And it's, you know, it has so much special attack that it's definitely going to survive an Astral Barrage. So you got that going for you. Then we have Focus Sash Riolu with Feint, Coaching, Counter, and Quick Guard. It's a really, really interesting moveset on Riolu. The reason that I'm running this moveset on Riolu is because Feint allows you to get through opposing protects. So if your opponent leads their own Regieleki, you can do something like lead Riolu Rillaboom and click Feint Grassy Glide, and that will not only get rid of their Regieleki Sash, but it will get through their Protect if they try to Protect. So Feint is really nice to have on Riolu. Coaching allows, it's, you know, that's the coaching part of the team, right? Like, we have a Prankster Coaching, which is really nice to have. However, if your opponent has Taunt, that is kind of a problem, and you're going to kind of just have to, like, use Quick Guard to stop them from being able to taunt you, and try to, like, one-shot their taunt user, which will be, like, you know, Tornadus, you have Regieleki for. And Whimsicott, you can just lead, like, Riolu, Sakataka, Quick Guard, use Trick Room, and then, you know, you'll be able to get off the coaching before them, although you might, like, just use Feint Gyro Ball in case they use Protect. So, I mean, you have that. And it is Focus Sash Riolu. There's really no reason you would want to run Eviolite. It's just, it's too frail anyways. But what the Focus Sash allows you to do is to take advantage of having Counter. So most people will not double up into Riolu on their first turn of attacking it. They'll use like Grassy Glide or like Behemoth Blade or something random like that. And it'll take you down to the Sash, and Counter will one-shot them back. So Riolu actually does pick up some OHKOs with Counter, which is really funny to see. But having coaching support for this team is just really nice in general. And it's like, you know, it's the point of the team. It's why I made the team, basically. Then we have Stakataka with Trick Room in order to allow you to run a Trick Room variant on the team if you want to run, like, Stakataka, Groudon, Rillaboom, and Goodra, or, you know, sub one of them for Riolu. Stakataka is a great answer for Xerneas, there's no doubt about that. This is a Stakataka that I got from Giga, which has the Nature and EV or IVs set such that you actually get a attack boost instead of defense boost with the Beast Boost. So it's, you know, it makes it more offensively viable. You run Choppleberry over Shuckaberry just because, like, of all the Zacians and stuff running around. But you do need to be careful about facing, like, a Landorus or something. But very good moveset on Stakataka, you know, Wide Guard. Just good to have. Trick Room, of course. Then we have Groudon, which you still actually do want to run White Herb, even though we're running Coaching. And the reason behind that is that if your opponent is going to lead Incineroar, what you can do is just lead Riolu Groudon, sets off the White Herbs so that you're back to full attacking power. And then you can just click Quick Guard Precipice Blades, and, you know, you can't get faked out, and you can try to one-shot them with the Precipice Blades. Precipice miss, so you know you need to be careful about that. Heat Crash does fat damage, and Shadow Claw can one-shot a Calyrex-Shadow if you're not using Rillaboom or Goodra to do that. So, you know, you have that going for you. You can lead, like, Stakataka Groudon and just click, like, Wide Guard Shadow Claw. It definitely works, but, you know, you gotta think about what you want to do, I suppose. Then we have the standard Rillaboom. It's the same Rillaboom that was on the last team, Grassy Glide, Woodhammer, Fake Out Knockoff. Woodhammer is really good to have for Kyogre, and Kyogre actually does struggle quite a lot to be able to, you know, do reliable damage to Rillaboom with anything, especially with Assault Vest Rillaboom. So, you know, Ice Beam just doesn't cut it, but Wood Hammer does cut it, so that's nice. Then we have Life Orb Regieleki, which definitely benefits a lot from coaching support. If you don't know how coaching works, by the way, it does work through Protect. So you can Protect and use coaching on the same turn and still get the attack boost, which is really nice. So something that you might do with a Riolu Regieleki lead is Protect Regieleki turn 1, use coaching, and then use coaching again the second turn to go +2 attack, +2 defense. And Wild Charge does ridiculous amounts of damage. I haven't actually checked the calc myself, but somebody said that Regieleki can one-shot a Zacian at +2 with this set, so you do have that going for it. Let me just check really quick, actually. So let's go Adamant. Let's go. Yep, Adamant Regieleki with Life Orb against a Zacian and being +2. So, oh no, I need Wild Charge. Wild Charge. There you go. So yes, Wild Charge will very reliably one-shot a Zacian at +2, and even at +1. So yeah, +1 Regieleki one-shot Zacian. So that's fun. So yeah, Life Orb Regieleki is definitely a lot of fun, but you can also just use Explosion if you need to. I could understand why you might want to run Assurance. You need Insurance. But Extreme Speed is actually really nice to have. And this is a slow Regieleki. We're not really worried about the amount of speed on Regieleki. This Regieleki is basically fast enough to outrun Calyrex-Shadow, and that's all we need. So, Explosion, Wild Charge, Extreme Speed, and Protect. Really fun moveset, and all over this team is just nice. Just nice. I really enjoy using this team, but again, like, don't expect it to just win every single match unless you, like, really get that good at piloting this team. So, you know, very fun. And here is my last team for this month. So, we've got a Calyrex-Shadow Team with coaching support from Zapdos. So we have Choice Scarf Zapdos with Thunderous Kick, Brave Bird, Throat Chop to one-shot Calyrex-Shadows, and coaching. I could understand why you might run U-Turn, but I think Throat Chop is really nice to have because not everyone is going to expect you to be using Choice Scarf Zapdos. So you can just one-shot Calyrex-Shadows right off the bat, and you don't have to worry about that. You could do something like lead Zapdos Calyrex in the face of a Calyrex-Shadow and just click Throat Chop Trick Room. That doesn't work as reliably if your opponent uses Indeedee, of course, but we do have Rillaboom to reset the terrain. Same Rillaboom set again. I'm using the same Rillaboom on each of my teams, but, you know, it's okay. Like, Rillaboom's a really good Pokemon, even though, like, I practically use it in the way that I complain about Incineroar. So, you know, like, it's really good. It's hard to find a Pokemon that does its job better than it. Life Orb Calyrex is actually really important. I find myself missing crucial KOs left and right if you don't have Life Orb Calyrex, so you definitely want Life Orb Calyrex. Then, as our fast mode on this team, we have Landorus to add to the Zapdos fastness. So we're actually running Choice Band Landorus on this team with Earthquake, Rock Slide, Self-Destruct, and U-Turn. So we have 2 people that can explode on this team. Something you can do is lead Landorus Zapdos, where, you know, they're both flying Pokemon, so you can use Earthquake and not have to worry about it. You can just click, like, Coaching Earthquake if you feel the need to, but you could also just click, like, you know, Thunderous Kick Earthquake or something. So, I mean, that works. Landorus does have Intimidate to ward off opposing physical threats, and Zapdos has Defiant to ward off opposing Intimidators. So, you know, you've got that going for you. Araquanid with Wide Guard, Liquidation, Protect, and Leech Life. Liquidation, Water Bubble can reliably one-shot a Calyrex-Shadow. So you do have that going for you. Again, I'm just going to check the calc really quick while we're here. Araquanid with Mystic Water, Water Bubble, Liquidation, and let's check against Calyrex-Shadow. Guaranteed OHKO, that's what I like to see. Yep. So, Liquidation against a Calyrex-Shadow. I have the rain up. Sorry, I need to turn that off. Let's turn off the rain. Please turn off the rain. There you go. Okay. So without the rain, it's actually not a guaranteed OHKO, but all you need is just a little bit of chip on the Calyrex in order to make it a knockout. So you do have that going for you. But you know, Water Bubble, Mystic Water, Araquanid is very threatening. And Leech Life allows you to get some health back, which is really nice. Protect and Wide Guard. Wide Guard allows you to, you know, not get hit by your own explosion if you need to, basically, which is really nice. And you also have, you know, you don't have that many protects on this team, so, like, if you're gonna explode, you do need to be careful who you're exploding next to. And I would say that is one disbenefit. Like, if you're gonna self-destruct, your most reliable people to self-destruct next to are gonna be Araquanid, Calyrex, or Snorlax. Like, if you're blowing up Landorus next to Snorlax or something. Snorlax is a little bit underwhelming at times, I'm not gonna lie. It's really nice to have, especially if you're going to use self-destruct. If your opponent sets up the Drought, Fire Punch does really big damage, and Darkest Lariat is an amazing counter to Calyrex-Shadow, because Calyrex-Shadow just can't really do that much against Snorlax. Snorlax is also one of those Pokemon that has better special defense than defense, making it a really good Pokemon to be supported by coaching. And it actually has a very decent attack stat, like 350 at level 100. So, you know, it's very, you know, strong if you are going to run it as a attacker, which I am. And, you know, it's a nice moveset to have on Snorlax, we'll say that. This team does need to look out for rock Pokemon, which you have Araquanid and Rillaboom for. And it also needs to look out for fire Pokemon, which, you know, you have Landorus for and Araquanid. And you can also use Landorus for opposing rock Pokemon. So, I think this team is a lot better with Zapdos than Riolu, even though it was originally a Riolu team. But Zapdos is really nice to have. So, with that being said, I think that explains the team really well. Definitely, I'm going to have to fix the team paste on the Ludicolo team. So, you know, I'll go back and I'll, like, put the correct code over top of the code in order to just show, like, don't use the original code, use the correct code. But let's jump into a match with my Kyogre team really quick, just because I do like to end these videos with a match. But yeah, thank you all for being here. If you try out the teams, definitely let me know. And yeah, let's jump into a match. Ooh, interesting. Yes, so it is time to give the old, you know, Kyogre team a try. So this will be very interesting. Escavalier's definitely going to be pretty nice here. I kind of don't see why I wouldn't just start like Torn Kyogre. I mean, like, yeah, you can just start Torn Ogre, like Protect and Taunt if you need to. With the Scavalier. And I mean, technically, I guess I could start Ludicolo, but I think that will be good. And who do we want in the back? We could bring Pikachu. Not gonna say we can't. They might have Freeze Dry. Xerneas Amoonguss. Fun. So obviously, I'm going to have to just Taunt and Water Spout, I guess. Like, what choice do I really have? Tailwind, and actually I don't have to Tailwind this turn. I mean, if they can beat me at this point, like, it's kind of crazy. So let's see. I kind of feel like maybe, well, technically the safest play is just to double protect this turn, right? So if I'm like really trying to be safe, I double protect, they might just cancel. Oof. It's not over, actually. I will say that. But let's switch into a Scavalier here and use Hurricane. I'd like to see Pikachu do something, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind seeing Pikachu do something. Is that your best move? You only got Flare Blitz. This is coming out into... Why? Why would you do that? This, what? Okay. So, just for fun, because we can, let's switch into Pikachu. Yeah, so let's see if it should one-shot, like, yeah. Good job, Pikachu. You did something, you got recoil damage. So, I mean, I could have made the opposite switch, but I mean, first off, I was gonna win anyways. Second off, Pikachu wouldn't have got to do anything either way because they were going to go down to their own recoil damage. So, that's a quick win. Man. Yeah, so we demonstrated, right? That was a demonstration. Why was their Xerneas so slow? I need to actually check if that's supposed to happen. Because that was not good for them at all. So let's see. Yeah. So they weren't running beneficial speed nature on their Xerneas, which really costed them there. So that's a game. Cool. So that's our video for the 5 teams. Definitely let me know what you think, like variation-wise, if there's a variation I should make on the team, because I'm definitely thinking about it. I might even try doing Choice Scarf Kyogre, because, like, you know, that would have been really nice to have there, actually. But yeah, so thank y'all. Yeah, let me know if you think I should make any changes, but I hope that you enjoy the teams. Definitely let me know if you try any of them. I definitely like hearing from people, like, you know, their success stories, or, you know, just what they think. So, yep, thank y'all and have a good day.